My name's Lisa Whitenack, she, her, and I am a professor of biology at Allegheny College. My research in terms of science stuff mostly focuses on why animals are shaped the way they are across their whole evolutionary history. So my kind of usual area of focus is on shark teeth and why they look like that, especially because when you look at 400 million year old sharks, their teeth look nothing like the kind of things we think of with great whites and bull sharks and things like that. So I want to know what's up with that. So the most rewarding part of my job is definitely seeing that aha moment with my students. It's one of my favorite things is working with both students here at Allegheny, and I do a lot of work with the students, K through 12, that live in my community as well. And it doesn't matter if they're 6 years old or 22 years old. When something clicks or they learn something new that they think is interesting and they want to know more, and that just grabs them, I live for that. I have 2 kids, and so wake up time is 6 a.m. because they have to be at the bus early here. And then I roll into work with my coffee, start to catch up on emails, and then when I'm not doing an administrator's job, I usually teach 3 classes a semester. And so a lot of my time is spent either working on things for teaching in the classroom or working with my students on their research and getting ready for their senior projects or independent research and things like that. So that's a lot of what my day is. But I also get to do cool stuff like my own research from time to time as well. So depending on the day and how much I'm teaching in that day, how many emails have piled up and things like that. So I don't spend as much time in the lab as I used to when I was a student or graduate student. Once I moved into a faculty position, it's more of helping my students with their work. But I get to, if I have animals at a given time, take care of the animals. It's lots of reading, lots of writing, and lots of math, honestly. Lots of data. You've got to understand numbers in order to do that work. But I also have to keep up with the latest things in my field. So that means a lot of reading and a lot of writing. I didn't know that you could do this kind of science and how to be a professor or anything. My mom, before she retired, taught first grade, and my dad was a computer IT person. And so, no, there are no other scientists in my family. And ironically, and I tell my students about this all the time, in college, I took a class called The History of Life. And it was to fulfill my biology requirement because I didn't really enjoy biology in high school, even though I loved being outside and was that kid who read about sharks and dinosaurs and everything. And that course, I learned that, there's a whole geology major. I can major in rocks and dinosaurs. This is amazing. Changed my major, made my parents really upset for a while there. And there was a 320 million year old shark tooth. And if I were in my other office, I'd show you what it looked like. It's from a shark named Cladodus, Cladodus. It's one of those, it doesn't look anything like a shark that we have. And so I wanted to know, that was the tooth that started it all. And I talked to my advisor, and he said, let me do some work on that for my thesis when I went to college. And then I applied to grad school, and it just kind of spiraled from there. So during my master's, I wanted to come back to that problem and wanted to study living sharks because I figured, we can see what they're doing with their teeth. We can see what they're eating. Maybe I can take all that information, ball it up, and throw it into the fossil record to figure out what's happening with that one shark tooth that's been bothering me since the late 90s. And that led me down this entire new pathway of studying living sharks too. I had never done it before, and now I still do. I get to do both, which is awesome. I think the advice I would give you is to be open-minded. A lot of my students, right, because I get the students right after high school, right, because Allegheny is undergraduates only. A lot of the students who are interested in ocean sciences or marine biology, they're they get here and they're like, well, I want to take a marine biology class, which we have. I teach it, but it's the only one we have. And then they just kind of discount, like, well, maybe this is not the place for me, right? Marine biology as a major is a rare thing. The vast majority of ocean scientists that I know are biology, environmental science, or geology majors. Straight up, right? Biology, right? Just because it's regular, finger quotes, right? Biology doesn't mean it's not applicable to the ocean. It's full of living things, right? So even if you're not learning about whatever it is, corals, dolphins, turtles, sharks, fishes, whatever, all that stuff you're learning in your biology classes is still applicable to the marine realm. Same with your geology classes. There's underwater volcanoes, right? There are algae and nutrient cycling in the ocean. You have to know physics and chemistry and biology to understand the ocean. So even if it doesn't seem like it's fitting into what you think you want to do, I promise you it does. You just got to have an open mind and let it happen.